G'day guys, welcome to another video, another layout. Welcome to 2023. Now this video is actually hanging over from 2022 and it is the last video that the last layout that I created using my 6x6 Welcome Fall Mega Pad. Now I have ended up making eight layouts, and one of those is a double pager out of that one 6x6 paper pad. So I will have all the photos of all of them all collected together over on the Facebook group and on Instagram. If you want to just see all the photos side by side to sort of register that, wow, all those patterns, all those designs, all of that came from one paper pad. So it just goes to show, and I've decided to make a series in 2023, and I'm calling it Smash a Pad. And basically it's when I get a 6x6 paper pad and I do what I did with this one essentially. So I'm going to create layouts and do it over the course of a month, maybe 5 weeks, something like that, and to show you different ways that you can use these papers, that, you know, just getting you to look at your tiny little 6x6 paper pad a little bit differently. A lot of people, they struggle a little bit because they have a 12x12 layout to create and you're giving them a 6x6 paper pad. They sort of get stumped. So I'm here to bring you different creations, different, this was, in my opinion, a super easy paper pad to use because these colors are rich and they're just, I loved this. I got to be honest with you, I absolutely loved this paper pad. And last year I only had a couple of collections that I can honestly say I absolutely loved, whether it was the colors, whether it was the patterns, whether it was the sticker collections that go with it. It was just different things. If you would like me to do a quick overview of the things that I love the most, I am going to do a essentials kind of video and just sort of letting you know where I come from when I look at things when it comes to scrapbooking. So I think of things a little bit differently. I don't just necessarily see really busy mini patterns when I'm looking at this particular paper pad. This mega pad was called Welcome Fall. Now, Welcome Fall is obviously, fall is a very Americanized, it's an American word. We don't say fall here in Australia. We call it autumn. And they're on the sticker sheet, the 12x12 sticker sheet, I was really, really happy with the fact that there was as many autumns as there was fall. So just because it's called Welcome Fall doesn't necessarily mean that we can't use it here in Australia. The papers in the mega pad, now the reason it's called a mega pad is because they did release a 6x6 one that's just a normal 6x6 paper pad, but the mega pad had an extra, I think it had an extra 12 sheets in it. I could be wrong, but I think it had an extra 12 sheets in it. Now that of course obviously lends yourself to be able to create a few extra layouts with it, but I also wanted to make sure that my layouts were very, very paper heavy. So I wanted them to use as much of the papers as possible. I mean, it goes without saying, anyone can get a 6x6 paper pad and put 2 squares on a layout and then say, oh look, I got 15, 16, 20 layouts out of this one paper pad. That's great. I'm not doing Smash a Pad series from a conservist, that's not even the right word. I'm not trying to conserve every little skerrick of paper. I'm trying to use as much of the pattern on each layout so you can get a real feel for what the paper series or collection you could possibly, like, I guess I'm sort of harping on it a little bit, but I want you to be able to see how you can take so many patterns, because patterns can be, let's be honest, hey, like, patterns can be daunting if you're not in the right headspace. And some people look at patterns, and I know this, I've had many of you comment to me and say, patterns scare me. Karen, help. What do you do when you get lots of pattern? Okay, you know that when I start off a lot of my layouts, if I'm starting and I want to do lots of mixed media, I will 99% of the time, I will start off with a blank white slate or a blank black slate. That's just how my brain likes to gather its thoughts together and sort of start to meld the patterns or the design, or I'll have just a thought in my head that I want to get down on paper. And for example, this one. Now, I actually put a post up, and my last video, I actually said that that's it, I'm done. I can't do any more with this paper pad, because I used 1/2-inch strips in the last paper pad video. And you know what? I looked and I thought, you know what? I cannot throw, in good conscience, I cannot throw these bits. So what I did is I went through, and these were all cut. If you saw the video before this one, these were all cut at 1/2 inch wide. Now, I then went through for this layout and went, you know what? Halve them again. Go 1/4-inch strips. Let's see what that looks like on a page. And in my mind, when I sat down with this, and this is something that I'm going to try and get better at in 2023 for all of you, trying to get you to understand where my mind's at when I'm creating a layout. When I looked at this particular setup, I looked at my 1/4-inch strips, and I wanted to create an L shape on the paper. Now, so that was my literally my jumping off point was, I want to create an L. Okay. Or in my mind, I was thinking of an L, but it was more like an F without the top line on it, if that makes sense. So that's where that was my jumping off thought. I then knew that I had this paper pad, I had these scraps sitting in the Ziploc bag, because I keep everything in a 12x12 Ziploc bag. So I keep the stickers that coordinate. I used to keep everything all separate, and you know what? It makes it 50 times harder to scrap, because you've separated everything that coordinates. And then you might use something because you think it might go with something, and then when you come back to it, you don't have anything that coordinates anymore. So something that I really, really think helps is buying some 12x12 snap lock bags. I actually got mine from Northside Cleaning here in Caboolture, and they're at Morayfield. So I think they're 13x13-inch bags, and they are the best. I bought 100 of them, and I don't throw them out. Like, once I've used up the collection, that bag goes back over and it sits ready to put more papers into. So as you can see there, that's my sticker sheet. So it coordinates. So that's all I have of this collection. I didn't buy any 12x12 sheets. I didn't do any of that. This is all I purchased, just these 2 pieces, and I've managed to make 8 layouts out of it. Now, yes, of course, I use some cut files because, titles, all that sort of stuff. Now, it was at this point that I started to sort of go, okay, you came this far. You didn't think of a title. You didn't think of the next thing. So I am flicking through. These are the Tim Holtz IDEA-OLOGY books, and they got I've got quirky, smart, all that sort of thing. This one, the one I ended up stopping on was Tim Holtz IDEA-OLOGY Clippings Sticker Book. I'm not sure if you can still get it. I've had it in my collection for a very long time, and well, it feels like a very long time. It's probably only been a couple of years, to be honest. But I wanted to go through, and where I had sort of created a brick where the two strips would join, I wanted to put some phrases, some things that would lend themselves to the layout, which obviously, so if you're looking at these dogs, there's only two there, but there's 3 photos. So a good girlfriend of mine, Janelle, she actually had she's got Daisy, who is the dog I'm covering right now. And so that's Mama, and she had some babies, and I did do a couple of other layouts, and this particular one was all the other puppies had gone, they'd been collected, all that sort of thing, and she was down with Chico, which Nell and Greg decided to keep. And so we were giving Chico cuddles and pats, and Mama was watching. She's like, excuse me? All my other babies disappeared when people came around. So she was just sort of, look, she's a darling. She was so sweet. But she was just keeping one eye on us, and it was really cute. And I wanted to document this because my kids genuinely will remember this puppy season from Daisy and with Chico. And even though they're not my dogs, it was something that my kids genuinely was so excited every time. And still now we go over and they just love them. They're just beautiful dogs. And of course, you know, they're very well trained too. So, I mean, you know, they have a dinner bell that they ring, they have to tap it, and, you know, they do their little routine every single night before they have their meal, and, you know, and they love it. But that's when they get their treats, because we know, you know, small dogs can overfeed them easily. So, yeah, it's all really good. Now, I'm just going through, and I went through and had a look in my enamel dots box, my tray, and I'm trying to use up what's in there because I don't find myself going to enamel dots very much at all. So I thought what I'd do is I'd grab some of the neutral colors and just sort of pop them here and there sparingly across the page. Now, I did not really think too hard about a title or where I was going to put a title. But what I ended up doing, and I think it works really well. So this sticker actually says fall is the best season. So I was okay with it saying fall being the best season because I wasn't actually talking about it being autumn. I was talking about, you know, it sort of lends itself to the season they were born, you know, yeah, not to overcomplicate it, but I was totally okay with that. So I ended up using that one, and I still had some fussy cut flowers that I had gone through, and I'd cut them and I'd used up most of them. But as you can see, that tray at the top left there, that's all I have left. And after this layout, I'm definitely calling done with the pad because I don't think I could come up with, I probably could, but you know, let's be honest. It's done pretty much. So I'm really, really happy with the outcome. Let me know if you're keen for a the series, you know. It has just slipped my mind because I've already said it 3 times and it slipped my mind. Smash-a-pad is what I'm calling it. So that's what I'm calling it. It will be a series. What I'm actually going to do is I will link all of these to Smash-A-Pad as well, so that they're all in the one spot. So if you decide to grab a 6x6 paper pad, maybe the same one, maybe different, feel free, go for it, guys. I don't mind if you scrap lift what I do. That I have no issue with that whatsoever. I realize that everyone gets inspiration from somewhere, and I am more than happy for you guys to get it from me. And jump on over to Facebook, share it with me. I love to see what you come up with. I saw quite a few today, and I'm really, really happy with how everything's going. And when you share stuff, that really, it's very humbling. I genuinely mean that. Thank you so much. Now, I am going to take 5 seconds here to, I just put a bit of journaling on the bottom there. I'm going to do my shameless plug, because I do have goals for 2023, and I just want to say, if you've watched it this far, if you've enjoyed this, this will be an ongoing series throughout 2023, Smash-A-Pad series. And please, if you haven't already subscribed, I do have, especially over Christmas, New Year, I've noticed that there's quite a few new people watching and they haven't subscribed. Subscribing is 100% free. It doesn't cost you a single thing. And yeah, so it's wonderful. I do have the links to my socials below as well, along with everything that, any links, including Crazy Craft Obsession. I do have a link to their store. If you refer a friend, you and your friend get a little kickback. And that's where I got this paper pad from, and the stickers as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye for now.